The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do.
Welcome back, Cannon Creek cowboys and cowgirls. How are we all doing today? Today, we are going to take a mill shop tour. I'm going to go over the basics of why we built the mill shop, kind of how we built it and how it operates. A key thing before we get into this too much, this mill shop is not your typical sawmill type portable sawmill mill shop. This doubles. We don't actually live at this property. We live right down the road. We camp out here all the time. We have get-togethers, family reunions, birthday parties. Several events are held out here, so this needed the dual purpose as our workspace, our dry space, and then also we entertain a lot. So it doubles up and gets both. It gets a lot accomplished, and I think you'll be excited to see how we did it, and on a really good budget, because the sawmill cut 9% of the wood on this barn, this mill shop. It's from the Woodmizer. It's from the property. It's from that Woodmizer. A great investment. Let's take a look. We have 140 acres here. It's a dream property for us. It's freaking awesome. We love this property. We're so blessed to have it. It's been a dream we've been working on forever, and we finally got to do it. The Woodmizer and the saw shop kind of came after the purchase. It wasn't something I planned on doing, but it's worked out really good. And one of the things you're going to notice is the location was key. I had 2 or 3 spots picked out, but I picked this spot. This pond was not quite as big, but it was, I dug this point out here a little more. I put the rock wall in. So I thought it was really cool to have this building sit pond side, and it's been a great choice because the kids and the adults, this pond is used every weekend. I think they started jumping into it in March. So we got 4 boys, and they like dirt bikes, they like water, they like it all. Last thing I'm going to mention before we jump into it, you see my glasses, aren't they sweet? So these glasses, I think, were, I think they're Cruises. I think they're fantastic. But I wanted to mention this mill shop. Huge fan of Outdoors with the Morgans, huge fan. It's kind of what got me hooked on YouTube. I know Mike Morgan, he's talking about doing his own mill shop. I think something like this would do him well because he's got the mill, and then he's also entertains. He has his Porch stuff, but maybe Mike's watching. Who knows? Here we are at the infamous chop table that's been around for years. Everybody signed it. We've got people from Italy that signed this. Some halfway famous people, Lax, have signed it. It's dirty, but it's so cool, so that's why I'm keeping it around. But I want to show you guys, so this was our concept. From drawing, I knew what I wanted to have. So you can see some of the early on drawings that I'd made. We had a cut list of all, see, I've got some oak, looks like 2x6, some 4x6s. That was one of my initial cut lists that I'd made. Here we got some nailer layouts, post layouts, my post plan, a diagonal. Here's like an original layout with the LT35 involved in it. So yeah, I kept a hold of these. Thought that'd be cool one day. There's my diagonals, all my diagonals when I was laying out my post. The exterior, all the siding is poplar. It was cut on the mill and put up immediately. I actually cut it to length and everything on the mill, brought out soaking wet, and nailed it up. Now we're about a year into that siding being up, so the mill shop's only about a year. Started about a year and 2 months ago was when construction began. But the trim, the board and batten, it's all poplar. Now the post, which we can't not see the post on the inside, but they are oak, white oak and maple. I used some maple on the interior post. Metal soffit, it's fully vented all around the soffit. And then we get to the porch here. Looking up at this lean-to type structure for our porch, I just knew it was a necessity. Have some more dry space, more space to entertain. This has been a handy area when we have get-togethers. They watch, they're huge on this Yellowstone show, so they sit out here and all the girls watch that Yellowstone show. You can see we have it decorated nice with some ferns and wandering jews. This is a good place we store wood in the winter to take it right in through this door. This door was actually an afterthought. That's one of the things I messed up on. We actually have a video on installing this door. As we wrap up with the porch, I just wanted to give you a quick view. It's beautiful to look down through this valley, this creek, which I guess that's Karen Creek. Moving on to the back patio. This is a great place to just sit and relax. I know when all the kids are out there swimming, the adults will get the radios and sit right here, lay out. We've got a little small beach area for the kids. I know Cruzy's favorite place to be in that sand. They bring the horses in here. This patio, actually we'll touch a little bit more on this patio. This patio was basically, we do landscape construction type stuff. So we do hardscapes, patios, concrete, and all these pavers. This is like a mix match. Some stuff left over from jobs. So it was only as big as I had materials left over to do. But it turned out really nice. If you look real close, you can see where that siding has shrunk. The batten has shrunk, and I've got some reveals. So we're gonna have to get another paint job on this baby this year, but I did want to mention this corner is kind of a dull area except for America. We are a week before the 4th of July, one of our favorite holidays. Our overhead door, that is 9 feet tall, 18 feet wide. So the mill shop houses are LT 35, which got the link capacity of 21 feet. Now I've cut, actually this white oak header that I put up here, I think it was almost 20 feet long, and that was a job to get that Woodmizer LT 35 to cut that 20-foot stick. It's just a little tricky cutting the full length. But anyways, back to the door. It's 18 foot wide, and I'm pretty comfortable with that width. As far as getting the logs in and out, it's worked out well. Heat source in the winter, this Drolet. I love Drolets. I have another one at another shop. I really love it. And what's nice about this one, I went ahead and laid some blocks, and it just makes it more comfortable to load and poke the fire, clean it out. It's just at a better height, and that took me a couple hours one evening. It's well worth that time in the long run to save on bending over. The older we get, the harder it is to bend over. The nucleus of our Karen Creek mill shop is this 2011 LT35. Bought it used. I wasn't sure. I actually sit and watch YouTube videos trying to figure out if I even wanted a sawmill. I thought maybe it'd be too much work. So glad I got it. Might upgrade to an LT40 soon, but for now, I'm so happy I got in the game when I did. If not, I wish I would have done it 10 years ago. I wish I would have gotten in the game a lot sooner. I mean, if you guys are watching, wondering about a sawmill, a portable sawmill, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. It's a hustle. I mean, you got to work to get what your finished product is, but it's really enjoyable. It really is. I believe this complements the sawmill very well. Cutting stickers. You know, when you're in there working, you guys can see how I made the miter saw flush with the surrounding table height. That's really handy. And we've got where we can hook a vacuum on down below and keep the sawdust picked up. So the question that I've got the most is about the mess. Isn't things just too nice in here and it makes a mess? It does make a terrible mess. After I'm done sawing, probably close to 20 minutes to clean it back up really good. We have these fans, which are fans, I've got them laid out to where they kind of get the air moving, get it moving out. But yeah, the sawdust that's a huge thing. The sawdust obviously just piles up against this back wall and creates quite the mess. We just shovel it in the skid loader bucket and haul it out. I think I'd love to do the suction idea where you get a tube and a vacuum type system that blows it outside to a bob. But I mean, honestly, I think what's going to happen is the way things are evolving, I'm probably just going to use this mill shop to saw. It'll just be in the wintertime. In the summertime, it's going to move outside and move somewhere else. So yeah, it does make a mess. But I mean, it's a double-edged kind of sword. You get, I mean, the comfort and the ease of cleaning up in here. In the winter with the heat, it makes it nice. So the sawdust, the cleanup is just something we're dealing with right now, and we're okay with that. Well, if you made it this far, you're somewhat finding the content interesting. I would appreciate if you guys would like or subscribe to our channel. Helps us out, and we're going to continue making these videos. These are cabinets we built over the winter, and so looking back, I have different drawer faces: cherry, poplar, oak, and maple, I think. So we got 6 drawers, but I think I only used 5 species to make those. And then we got some plywood in between. We're going to redo this top eventually with some white oak. Speaking of white oak, this kitchenette area. So this white oak here, I thought it was dry. I planed it down, put it together tight. You see that gap? Well, we got a gap. So I took it apart several months later, tested it with the moisture meter, thought it was dry for sure, put it back up tight. So this will be my 3rd time of planing and tightening it back up. You just never know. That stuff shrinks. How about these custom-made cherry cabinets from the property? This is wild cherry from, it was a blowdown tree, but we brought them in here, milled them, dried them, and then ran them through the planer. Used the Craig jig system to build these. So you can see the Craig holes, no fancy trim on the back, but it's just really cool, man. It's really cool to say, you know, these cabinets, I know they're not the fanciest, not the nicest, but for us to know that we build them from resources on the property, that's a home run. As we enter the back room, this is all stuff we worked on over the winter getting it done. The back room is nothing real fancy. We have some friends that come up from North Kakalaki, deer hunt. This back room, it's nice. The kids sleep in here. We've all slept in this room. You know, in the winter when it's cold out, it's so easy to heat this place. We've got good insulation, and this back room will probably end up just kind of being a little office area, maybe a man cave, who knows. But there again, poplar board and batten. That's maple overlap. A big buck right there. Come on. And last thing to note in this room is that live edge cherry top that we cut and planed down. Turned out really nice. Here's a super cool Christmas present I got last year. This was a white oak cookie that I cut, and my sister-in-law had done some type of ink and stamped this onto this poster board. I dated this tree to 1886. Not a huge tree, but you know how the white oaks are kind of slow growers, so that's super cool. All right, nothing fancy in here, but I wanted to show you the necessities that we thought we needed out here. Basically a shower, washer and dryer, and here comes the fan. You won't be able to hear me. Oh, look at that. So I use sycamore framing in here, and you can tell where that sycamore has shrunk. So an interior framing where there's going to be drywall, make sure it's store-bought or it's dried. Another spot. I've seen a lot of questions on the portable sawmill page groups, like on Facebook, social media. People's always ask about concrete thickness. So this concrete's all 4 inches thick. We do a lot of concrete. That's how we make a lot of money, or that's how we make our money. That's the business we're in, is concrete and excavation, construction type stuff. So like this concrete floor is 4 inches thick. Plenty good. Plenty good. The pad out front, it's broom finished, 4 inches thick. No rebar, no wire in this floor. We do have gravel base, compacted. 4 inches. I mean, we're in Southern Ohio. I guess the ball game could be a little different in different parts of the world, but for what we're doing here in Southern Ohio, 4 inches is plenty thick, and it'll do just fine. All right. So the question is, did we overbuild the mill shop? Yes, we did. It's too nice for just a sawmill. However, like I said, it doubles up. It's a dual sanction. It functions for more so for parties and stuff like that than it does actually sawmilling. So, I mean, we do what we want, and here we have it. For us, it's perfect. I want to touch again on the a couple more of the components. I talked about the exterior side being poplar. I use poplar because that's what was used a lot. And it's plentiful around here. Poplar grows straight, nice sized trees. It's easy to obtain and it's easy to cut, so that's why we use poplar. Uses a lot of sycamore, believe it or not, for nailers, purlins. Sycamore, better again, put it up green. You wouldn't believe how tough it is to take a 2x4x16 green sycamore and wiggle it around to put it on for purlins up on the roof. It was a pain in the butt. Really, really heavy and awkward. White oak header, white oak post, a few maple posts on the inside. We got the maple interior siding back there. No walnut, nothing like that, but yeah, that's all the trees kind of came from the property right here. Drug them out, cut them, put them up. It's awesome. I think that's going to wrap it up. You got to see the MT Cribs version of Karen Creek Mill Shop. The Mill Shop tour, over and out. I know some of the guys watching are probably thinking about doing a mill shop or in the process of planning, or maybe thinking about a sawmill. You know, you get a sawmill, you need to have some type of cover on it. It doesn't have to go this far, but if you know, if you're out there and you got a piece of property, or you need to double it up so you can entertain, have comfort when the sawmill's not running, something like this will be pretty handy. Budget wise, on this, like I said, in Southern Ohio, I'm not going to get into real fine details, but something like this, you know, even cutting our own wood, we still probably up around 30,000, and gravel, concrete, doors, insulation, electric, lights. So although it's super awesome, it was not super cheap, but a very satisfying project to be able to build something like this from scratch. Yeah, it's really cool. So I know there's people that might have some questions. Feel free to email or message us, and I'll be glad to ask any or answer any questions that you might have. If Mike Morgan's watching, come on, give me a call, shoot us a text, a message. Be more than glad to help anybody out all around the world. If you got a question, let me know and we'll bust it out. So thanks for watching. Thanks for working with us again at Karen Creek. Catch you on the next one.